Hello everybody and welcome back to Solar Tool Shed. I've got a pretty interesting video for you all today about my Knipex 0208225. These are, I believe, the 9-inch combination pliers from Knipex and the VDE handles. For the record, I did not buy these. I did not pick these out. I actually found them in a customer's attic. I did ask the customer if they belong to them, and they said no, and they told me I could take them, so I took them. But the attic, we were installing solar on this older couple's house. They live in an older house as well, and the attic was pretty susceptible to being damp. It was a damp environment up there, and so these had gotten really rusty. Quite a bit on the outside, but you could really tell just trying to open them, you had to really pry them open with 2 hands. So they were pretty much, rendered unusable to the average person. But luckily, I know a little trick, and that trick is distilled white vinegar. I'm sure a lot of other people know this trick, definitely not gonna take credit for it, but you can pick this up pretty much any grocery store. I actually got this one at the dollar store, but it's also probably sitting in your cupboard anyway. Distilled white vinegar, use it for marinades, making barbecue sauce, but it's also a really good, household cleaning agent, natural household cleaning agent at that. So, and it'll take rust off of pretty much any kind of metal. I had used this trick on bits a lot before, because you find old bits, it drops them in the van, they end up getting rusty. You can just throw them in some old vinegar, get all the rust off of your old bits. Really anything, fasteners even, get rust off fasteners. It'll take rust off anything. I will say, don't leave it in for too long. You want to kind of monitor it, make sure you're not stripping too much of the metal off, because it does basically just strip a layer of metal off. On these particular pliers, I ended up leaving them in overnight. I'd say probably about 6-7 hours. Because they were really rusty, and they had rust inside the rivet. I could tell they had rust inside the rivet because they were kind of creaky, and they would kind of pop like in stages as you were trying to open them. So I knew the rust on these was pretty significant and that they would need a little bit of time. But once they sat in there for a while, and I did put a bunch of ballastol on these. These have had coats and coats of ballastol, but now they're nice and loose. Still tight though. So they're still really solid, insulated Knipex pliers. And yeah, I felt really lucky, and have gotten a lot of use out of these myself already. I think I mentioned at the start of this video though, I probably wouldn't have gone out and bought these. I think they're just pretty big. I mean, I have they fit in my hand pretty well, but and I have used these. I like them, but in solar, and especially if you're doing like residential electrical work, these are just a little bit beefy, I think, for getting inside boxes and stuff. Plus, the handles are a little bit different than a lineman, so they don't cut quite as well as my lineman pliers, but they do twist wire really well. They'd be great for people who do 3-way switches, any kind of commercial or maybe bigger residential electrical work where you do a lot of twisting wire. But I don't think they're that ideal for solar. You either want something really a lot smaller to get inside of boxes, or something just like a regular lineman's pliers that you could use. A lot of guys use them as a hammer or whatever you want to do. But linemen's, I found, were a little bit more versatile than these, so I keep my linemen's in my tool bag. But I have gotten a lot of use out of these, and I like that you can choke up higher on these ones in particular. Like I said, twisting wire is really nice in these. So there's always uses, and I'm really glad that I ended up with these. I've actually been finding more uses recently for a pair of pliers like this. Maybe another thing that I always liked about them is how sharp the edges were. My linemen's are from Klein. They're kind of a round edge, so I really liked when I was doing conduit. So I've done a lot of conduit bending. You could ream the pipe with these really effectively. This is a nice sharp corner, and it took out a nice smooth layer on the inside of EMT or, you know, aluminum conduit, whatever you're using. So I do really like these. I just probably wouldn't have bought them because they are so similar to lineman's plier, and I already have a great pair. So that's about it for these. Main reason for this video is just to tell you about the white vinegar trick if you haven't heard of that yet, and to show you the result of that trick, because I don't want to give anybody a, you know, I don't want to mislead anybody here. If you look up these pliers online, go ahead and do that. You'll see that they kind of have a shiny texture, and that shiny texture is gone. They're kind of a gray color now, and it's kind of the price you pay for removing the rust and making them usable again. But the blades are still sharp. You can see some copper residue on there, and they get the job done, and they're still a great pair of pliers. So that is about it for today. Bit of a shorter video, but wanted to show this off and talk about my little white vinegar trick that I finally got to test out on a pair of pliers rather than just little stuff. And it worked out great. Let me show you how I'll briefly explain how I did it. I got a plastic cup and set this down in there and just filled it up right to the edge of the handle there, and just left it like that. And that was a pretty effective way I found of doing it. You could build like a whole jig, I guess, and suspend it, but it just kind of sat in there at a slight angle. You could see this side where that shiny coating is still kind of visible right there on the edge. I don't know if you can see that, but I think, yeah, you can see that. It's right on the edge there was where the vinegar did not touch. This, I don't think you could tell, maybe a sliver right there. But yeah, I was very surgical in my precision with how much vinegar I put into the cup, so that I didn't touch the handle, but that I got the whole piece of metal coated so that it would actually get inside of the rivet, excuse me, rivet. But get inside of the rivet and get all the rust out of the jaws to make them smooth and functional again. So that worked for me. If you have an old pair of pliers from your dad or your friends are like, oh, this pair of pliers is real rusty, I can't even use them anymore, like, oh, I'll take them, and then boom, brand new pair of functioning pliers. Offer to give them back maybe, or charge them for it. Charge them for your service. That'd be good too. I obviously knew that I was going to keep these when I saw them. I'm a huge Knipex fan, so I was pretty ecstatic. And I was admittedly happy that it wasn't like someone in the family. They're like, oh, our son's been looking for those for years. Like, no, they were like, we have no idea. So I felt very lucky, and I was able to restore them to working condition. So that's about it for today, guys. Really appreciate y'all checking out the video. Really appreciate the support on the channel as well. I've been getting a lot of love recently, and I really do appreciate it. So please subscribe if you haven't already. If you see this, please subscribe. You know, throw me a like if you liked the video, and leave some comments down below on any sort of videos you want to see next. I might run a power tool series soon. I haven't talked about my power tools like at all. I actually have a ton, so I will probably be doing that pretty soon. Also, check out my shorts. A lot of people have been liking my shorts. I uploaded a work video, and I'm actually about to upload another video for my work, so check that out. And that's about it, guys. Thank y'all very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.